Rob Walgate sitting with Coach Hassinger for round two of the Medina basketball podcast. We're sitting after a victory over the weekend against Highland. And Coach, what are the takeaways from that game?
Well, I was really proud of our second half effort. I thought we played a little nervous in the first half, which is pretty normal. And I thought we also struggled a bit just having from 5-day layoff. Kids hate practicing this time of year, and it's hard to keep them focused and keep them going hard. So the other thing, too, is we gave up 15 offensive rebounds, which I wasn't pleased with. And I know the paper said we won the battle of the boards, but you can't give up that many offensive boards.
That's what I was going to ask. From a technical perspective, as you come into this week's game, the district semifinal with Barberton, what will you be working on specifically just to clean up? You mentioned rebounding is one thing.
Yeah, well, we have what we call swiping and recovering. We work on it every day in practice. We're continuing to do that. We're continuing to do a very elementary drill called fundamental lines. It's like monkey in the middle. We do it every day, just teaching kids how to stay wide and low when you're pressured or trapped. And then we just start game planning. We get a lot of shots up in practice, and then we start focusing how we're going to, defend ball screens, how we're going to use ball screens. How does the defense going to defend Kyle and Corey and our shooters, Spencer and Doug, and what our bench can bring to the table for us. How do we need to play differently when our 5 subs are in the game compared to our 5 starters? And it's a lot to put together in a short amount of time.
Any concern? You go on the road a little bit this week, even though it is at a neutral site, but Copley is in the league with Barberton. Any concern on the venue that you're playing at? I know you've been bounced around. You've been at Lakewood, you've been at Copley, you've been other places.
No, not really. I mean, the thing of it is we play such good teams in tough gymnasiums all year long, and this is why we don't really care what our record is in the regular season. We just want to play good teams. I mean, the Lakewood game was such a trap game. It meant nothing. We thought we scheduled that game to play in their gym since that was where the district we were going to. And you could see the air out of the gym when we walked in there, even though we got off to a good start. But the kids know it at this time of year, and we got a bunch of seniors to lead us. We're ready to play any place.
Well, and it's tournament time, so it's win in advance. I'm guessing that's the mantra. So how hard is it as a coach? You're preparing 15 through 18-year-old young men. How hard is it to get them to focus on the task at hand, on the next game, rather than take a sneak peek ahead to what's lying ahead?
Yeah, our mantra right now is just win one. Just win one game. That's it. We don't care if we win by 1. We don't care if we win by 20. And it's hard to get kids to focus.
Well, it's easy to say just win one game, but they also know they're in the district semis.
Yeah.
They know regionals come next, and we all know what comes after that. So to get them to not look ahead.
Well, first of all, as a coaching staff, we don't talk about any potential teams we play. We haven't even asked for film of anybody on the other side. I just believe that you focus on what you have in front of you, because you're not going to be able to control who you play down the stretch anyways. But I think the biggest thing at this time is kids, they want to play games. They don't want to practice. They don't want to work at anything. But we've emphasized the mental part of the game. How do you win close games? Since we've lost some close games this year. The time and score aspect. Who needs to be taking shots? That was another concern in the Highland game. I think we said 6 or 8 bad shots. We haven't shot that many bad shots in the last 5 games. So, kids start thinking ahead a little bit, like, it won't hurt us, or maybe, this is my time, when we just got to play the way we've played all year long to be successful.
Well, in the Highland game, you build a comfortable lead in the first quarter, and then you expanded on it in the first half. And I think that also lets you play a little freer maybe in the second half because, during tournament time, if you see teams hang around that you shouldn't let hang around, obviously that's when a lot of upsets happen because maybe the favorite plays a little tentative or not as they're used to because they don't want to go home early.
Well, we watched that with Barberton. Barberton barely beat Cuyahoga Falls at home. They have to go to overtime. And then they go to Twinsburg and win by around 20. And the difference we thought was they were supposed to win against Falls. They had a lot of pressure and the shots didn't fall. They go over to Twinsburg and play where they're probably the underdog a little bit and hit 3 after 3, made every play, made every hustle play. And we've told our kids all year, we are the target. Everyone's coming after us. I don't care where it is. And if we're fortunate enough to play in the region, I think we'll still be a target because people are talking at us that they think we're one of the best teams in the state. I would agree this year. Doesn't mean, though, you're going to get there. The kids got to understand that there's a little luck involved. There's preparation involved. There's, all kinds of little factors that go in sometimes that are bigger than just the game.
Is it a concern? Your team has a ton of offensive firepower, a ton. Is there a concern that if that doesn't happen to be clicking, that then it becomes a defensive battle? How do you look at it from that perspective? Because I think everyone looks at Medina and says, look across the board, look up and down the line. You've got some kids that can fill it up.
Yeah, we don't ever really worry about offense, to be honest with you, because we score a lot in transition and we get a lot off of steals. But we are okay with the defensive battle because we feel like that's our strength. If you ask every kid on our team, what's our identity? It's defense. And if you'd have been at our practice today and saw the details we were yelling and screaming at kids for, they looked at us like we were crazy, because just the simple details of not loading on the right foot to be able to be there on the catch and close out the right way, it was just like the kids were looking at us like, are you kidding me? He didn't score. They're looking at that point, and we're looking at, we don't care. Say that's a kid from Moeller, or that's a kid from Green, or the best shooters from Barberton that knocked that down, and it's a close game. We don't want to take give any team any little advantage.
You talked about the kids just want to play the game. Well, I'm thinking to the AAU season. I'm thinking these kids growing up, they're playing 6-7 games in the weekend. How have you seen that change as a coach from a preparation standpoint on getting ready for a game and trying to get them to focus on the little things in practice so that you can make the games fun?
Well, I tell you what, first of all, this year's been fun because kids care about losing. I've had years in the last years where they haven't cared as much about losing. It was just a game because they're going to go play another AAU game or another game tomorrow. This team really takes it personally, and it's been fun to watch them get upset about not having success.
Well, we've played plenty of pickup basketball together. I know we're old guys, but we take it personally and I think back, a long time ago, but I was talking with someone the other day, when I was in the 5th or 6th grade, I think we played 10, maybe 12 church league basketball games on Saturday mornings. Yeah. And that's what we played for the entire year. And when you didn't win, it wasn't fun. And I agree. When I watch your team come off the court, and I've heard you say it, winning's tough. So when you win, celebrate and enjoy that win. And when you lose, take it personal and know what you need to do to fix it so you don't lose again. Yeah. Walking in today, we'll have a little flashback. Walking in today, I was walking across the baseline, and I heard the shooting machine going, and I look up, and there's a graduate of Medina High School out there firing up some threes. Tyler Kaminsky, home on break, getting prepared for the national tournament, NAIA national tournament at Spring Arbor. His team won the national championship last year. So how cool is that for you as a coach to see those kids come back that excel at the next level, and they're coming back to put the time in, and they know they have the opportunity here?
It's awesome. And we got a lot of kids that are having good college careers. And, Tyler's just special because Tyler was part of a team that didn't have a winning record. And we were just laughing about it. We said, can you imagine if we had some of the schedules from other teams around our area? We'd have won 15 or 16 games. But we prepared that year, and if you remember, we didn't have a very good seed that year, and we had to go up against Brunswick, who was a really good Brunswick team, and Tyler, who puts in countless hours, hits 5 threes in that game after having maybe 10 all year up to that point. But he's just a winner. That's a kid that just puts a lot of time in it. Now he's a national champ. You can't take that away from a great kid like that, but that's why he's successful, because all the time he puts in.
The 24 hours that will lead up to the game against Barberton, district semifinal. I know when we talked last time, you did say one goal was to make it to the district championship game, have a shot to go back at regionals. For you, that 24 hours before the game, I've seen your notepad. I know all the notes that you've taken on Barberton. I know you're prepared. Are you going to sleep?
I'm getting about 4 hours right now. That's it. I cannot sleep at all. I woke up the other morning, and literally, as soon as I woke up, I was completely wide awake, and I was thinking about time and score, end of game, who's shooting on this set or that set. It's just not a very good time to sleep right now.
Well, the kids seem relaxed. As someone who is around the team a lot, and I get a chance to stop in every now and then and watch practice or spend time with you guys. I know that on Sunday afternoon, the entire team was at your house, and I swung by, and they were watching the Ohio State-Michigan game. And it seems like a great, relaxed bunch of kids. They know what's in front of them. They know the task is not uptight. They get on each other. They have a lot of fun together.
Yeah, they're a very confident group, but they're a very humble group. They really are. It's tough in this day with all the kids pounding on their chests after making threes and all that kind of crazy stuff. I saw TJ Petros tweeted out something the other day. Can I just see a kid make a shot and not make some type of, motion or
celebrate a three?
Celebrate himself. But it's so true, and it's just a fun group. I love all my kids. I do. But you just want to see kids that put in a lot of time have success.
Well, you talk about a fun group. Let's go back a month or two and talk about the trip that you took to Cincinnati to play Moeller. I know you had a lot of fun on that trip. Maybe not so much when the ball went in the air, but there were some learning lessons from that 32 minutes on the hardwood. But I know at Top Golf, to see the talent on the basketball court of these young men who are some of the best in the state, when you go between the lines at 94 by 50, but to see them with a golf club in their hands at Top Golf, I wish this wasn't audio. I wish it was video and we could share with the listeners some of the swings that took place.
It was unbelievable. First of all, when these guys are 25, 30-year-old, they will not even talk about that Moeller game. They'll talk about going to Moeller, but they're going to talk about Top Golf. We had a burrito buffet. And this probably was not a good decision on me. But the day before, we golfed for 3 hours, and some of them had never touched a club or a golf ball before. I can't tell you the laughter and the crying that happened that night. And some of them were addicted. They just loved it. But what a fun night just to laugh at each other. And for these kids to be such good athletes and not be able to hit a ball is just so foreign to me because they specialize so much. I mean, Jawan Jackson almost throws down a two-handed alley-oop the other day, and you can't believe how terrible he is at golf. Corey Tripp, he might be the worst golfer that has ever come through Medina High School, but man, can he play basketball, thank goodness.
Well, he can't play basketball. And Corey Tripp, Kyle Shumsky, and the rest of the Medina Bees will be at Copley High School for a 7 p.m. tip against Barberton in the district semifinal on Wednesday night. And I know you would be very encouraged to see a lot of the Medina faithful out to watch the game on Wednesday.
We'd love to see a big crowd. Can't wait to see everybody out there.
Thanks, Coach Hass.